Welcome back, folks. It's Brody, and today I want to bring you the top 3 picks of 2024. And before we do that, I just want to say that this is not financial advice, but a market observation. And if I could pick some cheap cards that are pretty reasonably priced for what they do now in the year and see how well they do later on in time, these are my 3 picks. Tell me what you think. The first card on our list, coming in at number 3, is this card, Spelunking. Isn't it a fun card to say? This green enchantment costs you 1 green and 2, and it comes into the battlefield and lets you put an additional land onto the battlefield. If it's a cave that goes onto the battlefield, you gain 4 life. It also has this really sweet line of text on it that says, lands you control enter the battlefield untapped. What? This is a great card, and it's only been out since November 17th, 2023, when the new Rivals of Ixalan set came out, and I'm having a next to impossible time trying to find it at the vendor stores, and unfortunately, I didn't open any when I was cracking any packs. So this card, as I see it, it's a very good option to a more expensive card named Exploration. It lets you put an extra land onto the battlefield. It's got the Uro mechanic that lets you draw a card when it comes into play, so it replaces itself. It works well multiple formats. You can play it with caves, you can play it with wasteland, you can play it with any number of decks that let you want to put multiple lands onto the battlefield. So this card at $2.10 for the foil version seems to me like a very cheap pickup, and I'm thinking now's the time to get it. Coming in at the number 2 spot on our list is this card, Echoing Deeps, a land card, and you can't help but see the synergy going on here with the Spelunking. It's a cave, and it's a land, and it comes into the battlefield as a copy of any land card in a graveyard, except that it's a cave in addition to its other types. It taps for a colorless, and this card can come onto the battlefield on its own and tap for colorless. It can come in untapped, or if you're playing it in multiple formats, once again, Legacy, Modern, Commander, even Vintage decks are starting to play it, where you can copy some of the overpowered lands like Wasteland, Ghost Quarter, Cloud Post. Even the Urza's Saga is a great option for this, where you want to play a certain land from your graveyard again and again. It can even be used to target your opponent's fetch land in a graveyard and let you tap it, sacrifice it to fix your mana base. So let me know what you think of this number 2 pick on Brody's list. There's a couple of different versions out there that you can get. There's an alternate art foil version, and then there's a really hard to find promo foil version out there. But the pricing on these cards is only $2 to $3. I think once this set goes out of print and a little bit farther down the road, cards like this, the Echoing Deeps and Spelunking, are going to be sought after. They're sought after now, and I think that's going to continue into the future. All right. So what's the number 1 card on your list going into 2024, Brody? Well, it's this card, Dream Salvage. It's from the Shadowmoor block, and if you know me and you've tuned into the channel, you know how fond I am of some of the older block sets like Lorwyn and Shadowmoor and some of the undervalued foil cards that are in those sets. This card is amazing because it costs 1 mana, either a blue or a black. It's got the Dimir hybrid symbol on it. It's instant speed. And in foil, I can't help but think that this art is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it arrives. But if you think of powerhouse cards and drawing cards, cards like Orcish Bowmasters now being in the formats of Commander, wheel decks, and even a card like Ancestral Recall that you can only play in formats like Vintage, this card is amazing. Draw cards equal to the number of cards that target opponent discarded this turn. Wow! For 1 mana, I think this card could go somewhere, and I'm going to keep an eye on it all the way up until the end of the year. If you're playing in a 4-player format, if there's a wheel going around on the battlefield and it's not your turn, this could be something that nets you up to 7 extra cards. This is incredible. It's instant speed, it's 1 mana, it's from Lorwyn block, and it's only costs about $6 right now to find a foil copy, if you can find it. So keep an eye on these 3 cards, because these are my picks for the bottom end of the cards that you could be picking up to maybe see some good value long term. It's not a lot to spend on a couple of Magic cards, but I think you might want to take a look at these cards and consider them as something you want to include into your collection, whether you're going to play it now or you're going to play it later. If you like this video, leave me a comment in the comments section below. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps the Bro Show grow, and it lets me know that you folks are watching. We'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks again, and bye-bye.